and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd take you through a little what I eat in a day to feel my best but also stay non-restrictive and actually enjoy the foods that I'm eating. It's also Friday, so this is the day I typically plan all my meals for the next week, so I'll walk you through how I do that and then answer some of the questions that I commonly get asked in my DMs to help you on your wellness journeys. But first things first is drinking a ton of water. I try to drink at least a half or even 3/4 of this when I first wake up before eating anything. I've noticed a huge difference in not only my energy levels, like I feel a lot more awake throughout the day and I don't get that afternoon crash, and I also feel a lot more full after my meals, so I don't end up just mindlessly snacking. Hydration is huge, so I'm gonna drink this while we plan out the meals for next week, and then we'll go make some breakfast. Okay, so I use just a blank pad of paper. I know there's some like guided meal journals and stuff, but I like to keep this as simple as possible, and I like to just write it out on paper since a lot of times I use my devices for like finding recipes and stuff, so it's just easier to not be like flipping back and forth between apps or anything, and I just have it all written down. Okay, so I kind of just broke it up by breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks here. I don't plan exact specifics of what I'm gonna make for every single meal, but I usually do a meal prep that I can have at least 3 to 4 days of the week, some go-to snacks, and then dinners I do like to plan at least Monday to Thursday. I typically do go out on Friday nights, or we'll buy something fresh to make like a fun meal. Something that was huge for me along my wellness journey, I know when I first started out it felt so overwhelming because I was like, I don't have time to spend hours in the kitchen every single day, or I don't want to buy 4 million ingredients for every single recipe and just be so overloaded with food that I end up wasting if I just need like half a teaspoon of something but I'm buying the entire bottle. Is I like to break down like 1 or 2 things that I'm gonna fluctuate with. So for example, I've been obsessed with feta eggs lately with like some red pepper flakes. It adds so much flavor, so I'll buy almond flour tortillas and some sourdough so that then I have 2 carbs to rotate between. I also like to buy frozen chicken sausage just to add some protein from Trader Joe's, and that lasts me for a couple weeks since I don't eat it every day, so that's nice to keep in the freezer. So I'm not eating the same thing every single day for breakfast where I'll get sick of it. I'm switching it up, but I'm not overwhelming myself where I'm like making pancakes one morning and then eggs one morning. That's the #1 reason I see people burn out with eating healthy, and they just end up going back to what's easy and convenient. And then for lunch, we want it as simple as possible and find something that I can easily grab on the go, just heat up really quick if I'm working from home, because I do have such a busy schedule, or like if you have classes, you're not gonna wanna stop everything you're doing and go heat up a pan and then stand in the kitchen for an hour. I like to switch up my meal prep so I don't get sick of them, but make something that's still really flavorful. I always go back to the example that I used to make in college, just like plain chicken and white rice, and I would get so sick of it. I couldn't even look at it by day 3, but I found a lot of really good meal preps. I like to find them on TikTok. I also make a bunch, so you can check out my page if you need some ideas, but Joey made a special request of some teriyaki ground beef this week, and then I like to make that with bok chard edamame. It's so flavorful, and it's a really good veggie to heat up because it doesn't get soggy, and it just adds some extra protein. And then I'll make some white rice with that as a carb. Then on the days I'm home, I can like spice it up, add some different sauces or sesame seeds or some crispy jalapenos. Then it's also super easy if I'm running to a meeting and I just need to grab it and go. And when it comes to meal prepping for the week, for example, since I'm doing white rice this week, I'll make a ton of it on Sunday night, and that way I have it for like dinners for the week. So for example, if one night I'm making a fried rice, I'll already have the base ready to go, and it cuts my cooking time in half. That's nice to just have it in the fridge, and then it's just setting my future self up for success. So that's another way to make things super easy. So I'm just gonna come up with a couple dinner ideas. I'll look on TikTok, Pinterest, and Instagram. I like to try 1 new recipe a week to keep things fun and exciting, so I'm gonna look through all those now. But the most important thing I can say is just don't overcomplicate it. Like if you see a recipe that has a million ingredients, think about how you can make it simpler, and maybe there's certain ingredients that aren't as necessary or that you can replace with something you already have, so that not only do you save money, but you're so much less likely to get overwhelmed. So I hope that's helpful when it comes to planning your meals, and make it fun. Like block out an hour, whether it's on Saturday morning while you drink your coffee, but just know that having a plan is truly essential for staying consistent and just making things so much easier on yourself. And speaking of feta eggs, that's exactly what we're gonna make for breakfast, so let's go get into it. I'm feeling some breakfast tacos today. First, I just let the pan heat up, and then I add a little bit of feta crumbles, and this chili onion crunch from Trader Joe's is so good. Using 2 eggs, you can fry them or scramble them, but I like to scramble them, and then I'm slicing up an avocado to put on the bottom of 2 almond flour tortillas. You can also add sauces, salsa, some protein like turkey bacon or chicken sausage to spice it up too. breakfast is served. This truly takes me less than 5 minutes. It's so flavorful and it keeps me full for so long. So it's definitely a staple. I just thought of another question that I get asked all the time that was something that was really big for me too, is like, okay, I want to start eating healthy, but there's so many foods that I genuinely love that I don't want to give up. And when I try to eat healthy, I end up eating healthy a few days, but then the weekends I just completely undo it and toss all my progress out the window. Something that's been really helpful for me is finding those healthier alternatives, but still making the foods you love. So for example, I love pasta. It is one of my favorite foods, but I started to use Banza pasta, the chickpea one, maybe like 2 to 3 years ago, and I seriously can't tell a difference at all, but it keeps me fuller longer. I don't just feel gross after eating a bunch of white flour. It's packed with protein, and by the time I put a nice sauce on it and meat, I genuinely can't tell at all. Same with like these almond flour tortillas. Then the more that you get in this mindset, when you're at the grocery store, you'll just naturally pick the healthier alternative, and now there's so many different options where you can pretty much make all of your favorite foods, but just healthier versions of them, and still feel amazing while enjoying the foods you love. And have fun with it too. Like if you're really craving a certain dinner, but you know it always makes you feel gross and it's like super oily or something like that, look up a healthier version on TikTok. I guarantee you someone's made it, someone has a recipe. Or for example, making a copycat recipe of something from one of your favorite restaurants and then using the air fryer or something like that, and then you might find out you like it even better because it comes out crispier, and since you're buying all the ingredients, you're gonna have so much more, so you'll have leftovers for the next day. So those are just a couple ideas that really help me. And the most important thing to keep in mind is going into it with the intention of wanting to feel your best instead of wanting to restrict yourself from all the things that you shouldn't be eating. It truly is all about balance. So this isn't to say never eat pasta again, but these are different healthier alternatives that you can start incorporating into your weekly meal plan that will make such a big difference, not only physically, but especially in your energy levels. Now we're gonna get into our workout of the day. I think we're gonna do a 30-minute foam roller Pilates workout outside. There's just something about an outdoor workout that makes me feel so motivated and just energized. It's been raining nonstop in South Florida, so we're definitely taking any sunny day we can get to do a little outside movement. So I'm gonna wear this Lila set from my brand. This is one of my neutral staples. I love this set. It's so comfy and it just makes me feel so confident. I'll link it in the description if you wanna check it out. I'm wearing a size small on top and small bottom. It does run on the smaller side, I'd say, so if you're in between two sizes, like I could probably wear a medium in this one. But let's go get into the workout. Since a lot of these movements are compound movements, they engage multiple muscle groups at once, plus they incorporate balance, making them that much harder, and I love to use the foam roller to engage those deep core muscles and the glutes. These movements are super helpful, especially if you get neck or lower back pain when doing traditional ab movements like crunches or sit-ups. I've honestly just found this type of movement to be so much fun and more engaging for keeping myself motivated for at-home workouts. I started posting some long-form versions of them, so feel free to follow along on the YouTube channel, or if you like to just have the exercises up on your phone, I also post them on TikTok and Instagram. Workout is complete and now we're on a quick little outdoor walk. I wanted to bring Kaya, but I think it's too hot for her. The black pavement gets so hot and she starts to overheat, so we're just getting some steps in, appreciating the sunlight, and then we'll go make some lunch. Cutting up a Roma tomato and some jalapenos for our lunch. Plus this Spanish rice and ground turkey. I'm just putting it all in a pan for some post-workout fuel, and it's starting to smell delicious. This is a super basic recipe. I just added some taco seasoning, microwaved the rice, and then added some avocado and a couple tortilla chips on the side. I kind of just threw everything together that I had around the house. Normally I would have like a meal prep to microwave, but on Fridays I'm typically out of it, so I just kind of whip together whatever is left over from our groceries for the week. And I love to have that frozen rice in the freezer for days where I am out of a carb, so I can just heat it up really quick. All of this took me in total like 10 minutes and it's gonna be delicious. Okay, we are about to head out to dinner. It's a couple hours later. I'm just wearing this little Aritzia top. You can see up close with these Aritzia shorts and some heels. So I will show you guys what I order and then I'll see you when we get back. Okay, we just got back from dinner. Moxie's has to be my favorite restaurant in Fort Lauderdale. If you're ever visiting or you live here, that one is definitely my go-to. Last weekend, we went to S3, and that one's really good too. That one's on the beach. While I was there, I thought of one last tip that I wanted to give you guys, which is around restaurants, because I know that was huge on my wellness journey. I'd be eating good and cooking all these healthy meals for myself during the week, but then on the weekends, I would want to see my friends and family, and often that's at restaurants that don't have the healthiest options. But the biggest tip I can give you is to truly just stay balanced with it and not restrict yourself. For example, I would not go to a restaurant and order the garden salad and then come home starving. I want to truly enjoy my food, but I also always keep in the back of my head how I'm fueling my future self. So do I want to get home and feel disgusting, like I need a nap and feel terrible the next day, or do I want to feel energized and still get something amazing on the menu? So for example, maybe there's a fish sandwich on the menu and you get it blackened instead of fried. It's all about just finding those healthier alternatives, but not depriving yourself, because that will just end you right back where you started, at least in my experience. So I always say just listen to your body and think about how you want to feel after you eat that meal. I hope that I provided you at least one good takeaway tip from this video. Let me know if you guys want me to do more of these what I eat in a days. I've been loving trying new recipes and everything lately, and this really motivates me. But I'll see you in the next video, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye!